Alright, so let's get started with the last exercise, filters. I'm not sure if everybody finished it, especially because the last one is really tricky, because someone decided to do some of this exercise and write the code in Danish, not in English, which is really unfair, to be honest. So again, using the 37 listings, we need to create an array of cheap listings. We decide what cheap means, and it needs to be a type of objects. So listings is equal to generate listings 37, and then we do cheap listings. That's equal to listings where we filter, because we use filter to say we only want some of them, and because the exercise name is filter. So the listing, if the listing price is less than 3,000, then we call it cheap. And then if we start this, you should see that we get only a few of them. Okay, next part is create an array of expensive listing prices. Each item in the array should be of type number. So that means we don't need the listing anymore, we need the price of each individual listing in the array. So expensive listings is equal to listings.filter function listing. And then alright, we want to say, yeah, if it's expensive, let's say if it's over 6,000, then I call it expensive. And then we want only some of it, so we do a map, because now we want to change it into something else. And then we can just do listing the price, because we want the price specifically. I'll log them out. And then we can see we get a bunch of prices over here, and they are all over 6,000. And then for the third one, we need to create an array of listings that have parking. And this is where it gets really tricky, because in this, it's spelled parkering, which is Danish. So, yes, with parking. Again, we can just filter on it. And we say, alright, so if the listing facilities includes parking, then it should be good. So you can see it's assigned down here using some randomly generated value from the array. And we get a bunch of them that has parking as a facility. So that's that filter exercise. Any questions so far with any of these three exercises before we go on to arrow functions? No? Excellent. Alright, so next part is arrow functions. The simple version of arrow functions is that they allow us to write shorter functions. So if we start up here, instead of doing function value, curly bracket, and then doing something, we can actually remove the function keyword, add in an arrow here, and then it's now an arrow function. So now we saved a bit, at least the function keyword. But we can actually go even smaller. If there is not multiple lines, as for example here there's only one line, then we can actually remove the curly brackets and the semicolon here. And then there's now actually only one line to do that. And this also works with, for example, the filter. So again, move function, add an arrow. We only have one line. And the special thing about this is that one line, the last thing is actually what is returned. So I can remove this, and it's equivalent. Because in reality, there's a hidden little return here that you just can't see. And that also means that if we go with these chains down here, we can move function, add an arrow, remove all of that, remove that, and that, and that, and then it's even shorter. And then you can see here these can start to become really small. again. And then lastly the for each. So you can see that suddenly became a lot less code for actually doing the same thing. And if we're really smart about it, if there's only one value being passed into the function, we don't actually even need the parentheses around it. That's really the shortest it can get. And as you've probably seen, if you just in VS Code just type .for each and let it generate something, it actually created an arrow function for you. So the exercises this time around is really just take the existing code that you just wrote for the last 3 exercises and change it to use arrow functions. So it should be relatively fast and easy, but once you've done it, make sure that it still works, of course. That's still a requirement.